Hi, this is Carala Ficklin at caralaficklin.com. Carala is spelled Carala Ficklin is spelled C-A-R-R-A-L-A. Ficklin, F is in food, ICKLIN.com, or welcomenetwork.com. Welcome is spelled WYLCOME network.com, or I Study Guides, letter I, then study guides, istudyguides.com, or explain is spelled ASKPLAIN.com. Now, we were talking about sound, and we're talking about how one sound can be represented many different ways in writing, because we're trying to get inside of the logic of English. And on the other video, I talked about how the many different ways to represent the OO sound. You can represent the OO sound in English by the OO, such as boo. If someone wants to scare you, they'll go boo. No, that really doesn't scare anyone, because everybody knows you're going boo, right? But you can also represent that same sound by EW, such as in blue, which is the past tense of the verb to blow, to explode. He blew up the car. And it can represent it by the U in a short word, by the U, as long as that U ends in, the word ends in E, such as Sue, S-U-E. I want to give you some more examples of how you can have one sound but represented different ways in writing. You have the long A, for example. In one of the other videos, we talked about the long A. But here I'm talking about the long A in relation to sound and how the many different ways to represent the long A. Let me give you some words, and you tell me how these words are pronounced, okay? And these are the three words I'm going to give you now. Their names. So the words begin with a capital or a capital M. So first word, M-A-I. M-A-I. Second word, M-A-Y. M-A-Y. Third word, M-A-E. M-A-E. Let me give you a couple more words. T as in Tom, T-H-E-Y. T-H-E-Y. H-E-Y. H-E-Y. O-B-E-Y. O-B-E-Y. I don't know if you know this or not, but when English borrows words, or when words come into the English language, many times they come in with the spelling of that word from the language from where it comes. So English has a lot of words which have accents. Now, accents in English really don't mean that much, especially if you've never studied another language. But if you see a word and it has an accent, you put the accent on it. But in English, you really don't need an accent to know how to pronounce. You've memorized pronunciation. The accent, where maybe in another language the accent tells you how to pronounce this letter or that letter, an accent in English is more exotic. People sometimes put accents on because it looks pretty or exotic. Now, of course, if you've studied French or you studied Spanish or Italian or Spanish, then you know that an accent has a role. But if you've never studied a foreign language, or if you never studied those foreign languages that have the accent, you put it there, but you really don't know why it's there. It's there because that's how it's written. And a lot of times in English, the way we learn English, we're taught to accept things that we see as that's the way it is, especially in English pronunciation, because the way something is spelled and the way something is written, pronounced, many times can be very, very different. It's like, that far from each other, if you can see that. All right, so let me give you a couple words with accents in English, with accents in them. F-I-A-N-C-E, the E has an accent. F-I-A-N-C-E, the E has an accent. E-X-P-O-S-E, the E has an accent. P-A-T-E, now the A also has, and frankly, I used to know what it was said in French as, like, I call it the little house on top, the little roof on top of the A. My French teacher wouldn't be very happy. And the E has an accent. Okay. Now the next word, there's no accent. B-O-Q-U-E-T. Let me give you just 3 more words. S-T-R-A-I-G-H-T. S-T-R-A-I-G-H-T. S-T-R-A-I-T. S-T-R-A-I-T. And S-T-R-A-T-E. S-T-R-A-T-E. Now, these words are spelled very different from each other. Even when I give them to you in the groups, they're spelled different, but they all have one thing in common: the long A sound. One sound, many different representations. Let's go back. M-A-I, M-A-Y, M-A-E, may, may. T-H-E-Y, H-E-Y-O-B-E-Y. That E-Y, what's the pronunciation? A. They. Hey. Obey. In British English, G-R-E-Y is American English, G-R-A-Y, but what's the pronunciation? Gray. F-I-A-N-C-E accent. E-X-P-O-S-E accent. P-A-T-E accent. Fiancé. Expose. A. You hear the A sound? Pate. And B-O-U-Q-U-E-T. Bouquet. From French, you don't pronounce the T. Then S-T-R-A-I-G-H-T. Straight. S-T-R-A-I-T. Straight. S-T-R-A-T-E. Straight. All of these words have the long A sound to them, although they're spelled very differently. So when you talk about the long U, when you talk about the long A, one pronunciation. A in the case of the long A, U in the case of the long U. But there's many different ways to represent those sounds in writing. So you can write them in many different ways. That's why you can have words that look very different from each other but are pronounced the same. The next tape, we might look at one more sound like that, and then we're going to go into words that are just the opposite. So once again, Kerala Ficklin at KeralaFicklin.com, Explain.com, iStudyGuides.com, and WelcomeNetwork.com. Thank you.